Lauren, there will sadly always be cases where the company you're chasing for payment ignores you. They don't return your calls, they ignore your emails. What should you do when that happens?
Well, always be trying every avenue of communication you can. I think the obvious one being telephone is definitely the most effective, but you've also got the use of email, text message. Social media is a big thing these days. You utilise social media avenues. You've got LinkedIn that you could use, WhatsApp as a means to make contact. Make sure that you are trying different people within the company. Make sure you take advantage of using your company's contacts as well. Ask them to get in touch with their contacts at the business too, so you can try and make yourself known as much as possible.
What about stopping suppliers and just refusing to do more work? Is that a valid?
Yeah, most definitely. Use that to your advantage. It also doesn't make sense to continue works if you have got an ongoing contract. You don't want to continue those works when you already have invoices outstanding and then end up having more invoices that you need to raise that are also then outstanding. So yeah, definitely use it as a tool to encourage payment to be made. So yeah, stop those works and get paid.
And what if none of these work?
So this would be the point you would look at escalating things. So depending on who you've already been making contact with, if they're not at a senior level, this is where you'd want to be making sure you're getting in touch with the directors, finance directors, potentially even the CEO of the company. And you've also got the use here, if you're a member of ours at Top Service, to send out our payment reminder, email or letter, and then also our escalating to third party email reminder or letter. I do find that an escalation process utilising a third party can often encourage that payment to be made. It shows a real escalation of the process, and sometimes you can be taken more seriously for doing something like that.
Thanks, Lauren. So how else can Top Service help?
And so you can utilise our no-win, no-fee debt recovery. We, as I say, operate no-win, no-fee. It's a collection service where our operatives are trained and targeted to recover your outstanding monies in the shortest time period possible. They have got industry specific knowledge as well, and like we were talking about, it's making sure that you're getting hold of the right person that can make those decisions and make them quickly. You have also got the opportunity to utilise the statutory late payment legislation at this point. So when you pass the outstanding debt to us for collection, you can add on those additional late payment fees to recover as well.
Yeah, and of course people often forget that you can claim late payment interest and collection costs to invoices that have already been paid. So you can go back 6 years on invoices that have been paid late and add those costs on, which can make a significant inroad into the costs you've had in servicing that debt that was unpaid.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's also not forgetting that although you're also out of pocket at that point for the outstanding invoice balance that you're owed, but there's also a lot of administration costs that come into play here when it comes to trying to pursue an outstanding balance. So those statutory late payment fees are really supportive and important to utilise to cover those additional fees that you incur. And ultimately they're a consequence of non-payment, you know, they're a penalty, and they should be there to encourage you to pay on time.
Yeah, and 8% of above base rate is a penalty.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So the reality is that if a business has limited cash available, you have to do everything you can to be first in line and make sure you're near the top of the queue.
Yeah.
Are you able to share an example where one of your members has been able to obtain payment for a debt that they've not been able to collect themselves?
Yeah, definitely. So recently, one of our operatives in the debt recovery department was passed an outstanding balance on behalf of one of our members. It was quite a significant amount, and it was just over 2 years overdue. They passed it across the collections department because they were trying to recover the payment internally, and a dispute had been raised on the account. They'd responded to the dispute, outlined exactly why payment was due, and to no surprise at that point, that's when the contact communications from the company stopped. Haven't been able to get hold of them since, no reply, so they passed it to us. We had it for just under 10 days and managed to get it paid in full. The operative was able to, like we were talking about, speak to the relevant people that can make those decisions, make them quickly. They went over the terms and conditions of the members, payment terms, their terms and conditions for the trade, was able to explain and justify why that balance was due and payable, and we got payment made. We also outlined the consequences of non-payment, you know, the result of potential court proceedings that can take place, again, to kind of really put into perspective the options that the member has available to them and encourage that payment is made, and that was a result.
So bringing your expertise to these situations clearly makes a difference to members.
Yeah.
If someone's watching this and thinking, I could use those services, how do they find out more about them?
Yeah, so they can pick up the phone and call us on 01527 518 802, and there will be someone on the other end to make sure we can offer that support.
Brilliant. Thank you.
All right, thank you.